So thank you for joining today. I know it's Saturday and it's the last talk, so I'm happy to see you here, and it's gonna be worth it. Let's just give one more second for people to sit down. If someone would ask me which idea I like most, I would definitely say that IntelliJ IDEA is the best IDE I've ever worked with. And yet, some developers don't take the full advantage of it. I'm a developer for over 10 years, and I've worked with many super talented developers, but some of them didn't take the most of it, and some even worked very inefficiently. Just by learning few tips, they improved their productivity dramatically. And this is what I want to share with you today. Now, I assume different levels in the audience, but I assure that each and every one of you will learn something today that will help you to save time and increase your productivity. My name is Maxim Novak. I work at Wix as a team lead for the last 4 years, and I like efficiency and optimization everywhere. So naturally, when I'm using a tool on a daily basis like IntelliJ, I want to do it in the most efficient way I can. Now, before we dive in, I want to give you a tip about teamwork. There are different key maps, and different developers use different key maps from different reasons. They used to something, that's how they started. And from time to time, I hear two developers arguing. And then it starts like this. Seriously? You're using this key map? Yes, of course. Are you using different one? And then they start arguing which key map is better. So of course, non-key map is better. And if the developer sitting next to you using this key map for the last 10 years, or even 2 years, chances are they're not going to convert, right? And you still need to work together. So how do you do it? I'll give you 2 tips about it. One, when you work together and you talk about stuff that you want the other developer to do, speak in terms of action and not shortcuts. So instead of saying Command O or Command N, just say search for a class. The second tip, which is very useful, is I'll show you how you can switch to your key map in a second. This way, every time you switch the keyboard, you can just switch to your key map. So you just click Control tilde, and this works for every key map. Then this screen will pop up, you click on 3, and then you choose the key map that you like most. Now, this presentation, I will use the new macOS key map, but it applies to any key map, any operating system. It doesn't really matter. Just one thing, when you do it on someone else's machine, just teach him how to switch back. Otherwise, he will hate you and will never let you close his machine again. Next thing is find action. And this is very important. I know that many developers know this, but not so many use it. So if you learn one thing today, it should be this one. Using this shortcut, you can find any action in IntelliJ and have also 2 benefits. One is that you can find very easily, very quickly, any action in IntelliJ. The second one, that you will see the shortcut. So if there is some action that you use a lot, after a few times, you will look at the action, you will remember, then you will stop searching for it, and start using the shortcut. This way, incrementally, you will learn more and more shortcuts, and you will be much more efficient and productive. Now, let's move to the fun part. We're going to do live coding. You see well, right? No. Let's do it twice. So, again, Control tilde, look and feel, light. Very easy. You don't need to go to properties and start looking for it. So, you see this project is like half of the screen now. I don't need it to take so much space. It happens to me a lot when I connect a monitor or projector. It's like everything is going crazy here. So many people will go with a mouse and start like looking for this and start dragging it, right? But we don't want to use the mouse because 1, it's not cool, and 2, it breaks your flow. You switch mouse, keyboard, it slows you down. So how you can do it without the mouse? You see all these tabs here have this little number here, number 1 here. So this number here is for a reason. If you click Command 1, it will put the focus on this tab, and then you can stretch left with Command-Shift left. Okay, just with the mouse. Now we want to start the main program. So almost every menu in IntelliJ is searchable. So you can click main. Okay, click enter or we'll open it. Escape will put the focus in the code. Now I want to run it, Control-Shift-R, and I run it. By the way, I'm using a productivity assist plugin, so you will see what I'm clicking. So we've ran it. And all that this application does is just write some logs. So the only thing I do with the mouse is scroll in logs. And I see many developers now I saw that this lookups class wrote some log, I want to go here. So some developers will start like selecting this, so it's also like you need to be very sharp here. So you can do double click to select it. And now a lot of developers will copy paste it to the search tool, but you don't need to copy paste. You can just click Command O and it's there. Okay, enter will go here. Now let's free some space here. So again, here this tab is number 4, so I can click Command 4. It will put the focus here. Command 4 again will close it. Again, same with the project. Command 1 will put the focus here. Command 1 again will close it. So I think most of you know it, that you can search by class name with Command O. But if you click Command O again, so this one will search in your project. Command O again will expand the search to all the dependencies. You can search by symbol with Command Alt O. So symbol, it's a class name, a field, method, everywhere. So it expands the search a lot. And you can search by file name. Now, if you, by mistake, doing the wrong shortcut, so here I use Command O, and there is no such class Scala specific, there is such file. So I don't need to exit this and search again. I can just click here, Command-Shift-O, it just replaces it. So I see many developers close it and open the new one. You can also, it also works for directories or for file types or whatever. Now, for all these searches, there are different ways to search. So for example, this class, adaptive work stealing thread pool tasks. It's a real class in Scala. So we want to find it. So we can use camel case. So we can use like something like this, right? But I prefer the other way, that you just write a little bit of some classes. Okay, so I write like 2 letters of each word, and it found it. Of course, you can do wildcard matching like this, and you can also filter by namespace. So you know there is a class something with D and T, and you know that it's in the other library. So you can do this. It's also useful if I want to find something with time. So I just do this. Now, if I click enter here, I will go to the code. If I click shift enter, it will open it in a detached window. So let's go to this daytime class. Really nice class. We'll scroll to the end. We see it over 2,000 lines of code. And now we need to navigate here. So how do we do it? The easiest way is to click Command 12. I will zoom in a bit. And then we'll have this pop-up that will let us navigate. So everything is searchable as IntelliJ. So also here, I want something with minutes. Okay, I can search for it. Another cool feature here, that you can even search by a type. So let's say I want something that works with longs. I can click long here, and I found all the methods that accepts or returns a long. Let's continue. After we know how to look up classes, we start controlling our environment. We go in everywhere we need easily. Now I want you how to navigate between the code that you're working on. So a very useful thing for me is move between tabs. So Command Alt, left and right. So if I'll do Command left, I'll go back to where we visited. Command right will go forward. It works like back and forth in the browser, like a stack. Another option, if you want to go left or right on the tabs, is Command Shift and then the square brackets. Okay, I can go right or left. If you want to navigate to more, if you like to close this windows or from some reason, if you want to close this windows, you can do Command E. You will see the recent opened files, and Command Shift E will show you the recently edited files. Also useful. Now, bookmarks is another useful feature. So you can, to mark bookmarks, you can just do Control Shift and a number. So for example, here I want to say 2. Okay. So you see I put here some numbers now. Control 1 will go here. Control 5 will go here. Control 2 will go here. With F3, you can just toggle, or you can just do like this, and then it's without a number. Then Command F3 will show you the list of all our bookmarks. So you can see the bookmark and the code, like a snippet of the code. Now, we also want to write tests, and we want to navigate between the production code and the test code. So we click Command Shift T. If we don't have a test class, we can click Enter to create a new test class. Here you can select your favorite testing library, give it a name, whatever, enter, enter, and here's the test class. So from here, Command Shift T will go back to the production code. Or not. Something is stuck here. Let's close this. Okay, so from the production code, Command Shift T will go to the test code, and from the test code, Command Shift T will go back to the production code. Usually it works. So if we have some errors in our code, many people know this, that you will see here red markers. You click on it, and it goes to the code. But again, we don't want to use the mouse, so F2 will go to the next error. Shift F2 will go back. Okay, so we know how to navigate. Let's now do some text editing, right? This is what we do most of the time here. We also develop software, but mainly text editing. So the feature that I think that I use most is incremental selection or syntax-aware selection. So with Alt and Up, I can start selecting it. And as you see, it increases, but the way it increases, it makes sense to the code. So see, and then the class, and then I can click Alt and down, and I can shrink the selection. This is very useful. Please don't do like Shift and start with the arrow, or I don't know, like I see people do this. Please don't. To delete a line, to duplicate a line is Command D. Please no copy pasting. To delete, Command delete. Move lines is Command Shift up and down. Also, please no copy paste, or even worse, cut and paste, or even worse, copy paste and then delete the old one. To comment out lines, it also works for functions. So if I want to, like, Command Alt will move the line. Alt Shift down will move the line. Command Alt will move the whole function. Yeah. So please try to do it in a more efficient way. Let's move to some completions. But before we start with it, we have a little debt to editing. So here we have a class with the 4 values. Now I want to make 4 of them, all of them private. How do I do it? I can write private 4 times, or I can write private 1 time and copy paste, but I can take advantage of multi-line selection. So I click Alt twice, and then the second time I click Alt, I keep it, and then I can go down, and then I can do this. Nice. So another thing here is live templates. You have some available, and you can add your own. So if I want to print something that I have here, I can do prev tab, and then I can do, for example, name, display name, whatever, and it give me this snippet of this code. Okay. Another thing here. we have this code here, new codec, and I want to, clearly it's not in the scope, I want to import it. So Alt-Enter, many people know that will give me this menu, and of course that I need this one, ScalaUA codec, but I don't want to see this anymore. Com, sun, XML, internal, whatever. So you can go right here and then say exclude com, XML, sun, internal. Enter, enter. Next time you do optimize import, you don't see it. Also, I don't need this OMG or IUP, so exclude it, and then it will just work. Okay, so I want to make the indentation correctly, so Command Alt L, and with Command P, I can see that this method accepts a char set, and also here with Control Shift P, we have type inference, but we want to see, so Control Shift P will show me that this is a char set. So now, when I come here and I want to complete it, I click Control Space. I see so many things, and it's clearly that there is only one thing that here in the scope matches it. So you can use Smart Completion. It's Control Shift Space, and then it will give me a much better selection. Now let's go to see some Scala specific stuff, because it's a Scala conference, so we have to show some Scala stuff. So one thing that I like about Scala is that you can write multiple classes in the same file. So usually when I start writing code, I write a lot of classes, and then when they grow, I want to separate them. So here I have two classes here. I want to extract this to its own file, so it's very easy. F6, enter, 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 and it's out. Okay, it's not perfect because I still have the import, but Control Alt O will optimize it. Now, in this, okay, we also have this thing highlighted, and it says that okay, the file is Scala specific, but the class name is this. So I can either rename the class name to the file or the file to the class name. Let's rename the file name to the class name. So we don't have this highlight anymore, and we have a value bi here, which is a big int. And it gets 177, which is clearly an int. How does it work? Of course, implicit conversion. How do I know it? If I don't know Scala, I can see this underline here. This underline here tells me there was an implicit conversion here. Now, I can use Control Q to see which conversion was used here, which is int to big int. Enter will go to the code. But I can, if I click Alt-Enter, I can make it explicit. Okay? So it's explicit now. Some people don't like it, the implicit conversions. Here, another thing. So we have this feature here that gets a function, and another parameter, which is an executor, which is an implicit executor. Now I want to know which executor used here. So Command Shift P will show me which one. I can click Enter and go to see the exact place in the code where it's used. We are about to end. So last tip here is you should see that all the screen is highlighted. And sometimes I see developers that all the screen is highlighted, they just don't see it. And it's very easy to fix. Here, IntelliJ IDEA also helps you to be a better developer. So if here we have a typo, I click Alt-Enter, and then I just click this. It's an unused variable, so just remove it. Find something and then check if it's defined, so I can replace with exist, and exist and check equality. It's just like contains. Length equals 0 is empty. Apply the zero-based is like head, and drop and take is slice, right? Okay, so we are done here. I just want to show you a short demo that demonstrates how like, here is a developer that works not so efficiently. So he like started to drag this thing. Okay, now the trackback ended, so we need to do it again. Now we need to find the main class. Okay, so we open all this directory, find the main class. Now we want to rename it, so we right-click, refactor, right? Refactor, yes, rename. Okay, done. Now we want to run it, so we go to the mouse, yes, run. Cool, we run it. Now we want to go to the lookups. Okay, we want to close this because we want to more space. Now go to this file and go back. Yes, done. So it took us 46 seconds. Wow. Now let's do it how the same developers doing this, but in a bit more efficient way. Exactly the same flow. Okay, let's start. So we do it everything with the keyboard, reduces it, changes the name, run it, close this window, go to lookups, and go back. So I think this demo speaks for itself. I hope you enjoyed and learned. And now it's your turn. Thank you. By the way, if you want to contact me or all this presentation, all the shortcuts is here. And feel free to contact me if you have some questions later on. Yeah.
So you started with the ultimate shortcut, which is the one you said like you need to remember.
Yes.
And there is another one, Shift-Shift.
Yes, I know Shift-Shift. Shift-Shift will search everywhere.
Yeah.
I like it less because it gives you a lot of results. Like you search for an action, give you classes, so you can also use it, but I prefer to use this one.
When I show that stuff, people like, yeah, Shift-Shift is easy. That works for me. So.
Yeah, okay. More questions? Yeah? No, okay. No time? Okay, so catch me later. No time for questions. Thank you very much.